On the evening of October 12th, 2018, 16-year-old Karlie Gusé told her father, Zach, and stepmother, Melissa, that she was going to attend a high school football game. The couple granted her permission, unaware that Karlie had made different plans. Instead of heading to the stadium, she went to a party on Dixon Lane in Bishop, California, accompanied by her boyfriend Donald. At the party, Karlie smoked marijuana. According to Donald, she had a severe reaction to the drug, one that was visibly more intense than usual. He speculated that the marijuana might have been laced, or that Karlie was simply not used to its effects. Shortly after smoking, Karlie began acting extremely paranoid. She grew frightened by the music playing at the party, became visibly uncomfortable around people she knew, including Donald, and refused to be touched. Then, in a sudden panic, she bolted from the gathering and disappeared into the dark night, instructing Donald not to follow her. Concerned, Karlie called Melissa and told her she was scared and booking it down Dixon Lane. Melissa drove out to pick her up and later described Karlie as pale, with enlarged pupils and a clear look of fear on her face. During the short ride home, Karlie moved erratically inside the vehicle, switching from seat to seat and expressing irrational fears, believing at one point that the car might kill her. This series of events marks a sharp shift in Karlie's mental and emotional state, transforming what began as a typical Friday night into the first disturbing chapter of her disappearance. After returning home from the party, Karlie Gusé's behavior remained erratic and deeply unsettling. According to her stepmother, Melissa Gusé, the 16-year-old appeared visibly frightened and emotionally unstable. She sat curled up in a corner of the room, oscillating between intense fear and moments of affection. Her thoughts were scattered. At times, she confessed confusion, saying she didn't know what was wrong. At others, she clung to comforting childlike rituals, asking to paint her toenails or read the Bible. Recognizing the severity of Karlie's state, Melissa began recording her on audio, hoping to later demonstrate how much the drugs had affected her. The recording captured a wide range of emotional swings. Karlie expressed regret with statements like, "I really messed up today," and affectionately repeated, "I love you." But her voice also carried fear and suspicion. She asked questions such as, "Are you going to call 911? And am I going to live until tomorrow?" In one particularly troubling moment, she even accused Melissa of possibly killing her. Melissa responded by calling the idea preposterous, attempting to reassure Karlie that she was safe. Melissa stayed by Karlie's side until around 3 a.m., watching her carefully. Although Karlie eventually appeared to calm down, Melissa continued to check on her periodically throughout the early and morning hours. Eventually, she fell asleep. This segment marks the final time Karlie was definitively seen by someone inside the home. Melissa's audio recording now stands as the last documented record of Karlie's mental and emotional state before her disappearance, offering a disturbing window into the chaos and confusion of those final hours. On the morning of October 13th, 2018, Melissa Gusé woke between 7:15 and 7:30 a.m. As she moved through the house, she noticed something was wrong. The front door was slightly open. Instinctively, she checked Karlie's room, only to find it empty. Karlie was gone. Her cell phone, however, was still on the kitchen island, untouched. The sight of the abandoned phone sent an immediate wave of panic through the household. Melissa quickly woke up Karlie's father, Zach Gusé, and told him their daughter had disappeared. The two began a frantic search of the surrounding neighborhood, driving slowly through nearby roads and calling out Karlie's name. They hoped she had simply gone for a walk to clear her head, or maybe stepped outside and lost track of time. But as the minutes passed with no sign of her, concern deepened. While still in the car, Zach contacted Karlie's biological mother, Lindsay Fairley, to inform her of the developing situation. Despite the distance between them, Lindsay was immediately alarmed and emotionally shaken. The call made it clear that Whatever was happening was far from a typical teenage rebellion. Shortly after, the family reported Karlie missing to the Mono County Sheriff's Department. The details they provided were troubling. A vulnerable teenager, clearly unstable the night before, had disappeared without taking her phone, leaving behind no note, no plan, and no obvious destination. This section captures the disorienting first moments of Karlie's disappearance, when hope and panic collided. Unlike most missing teen cases, this one lacked the usual signs of a planned escape. Instead, it felt urgent, unplanned, and deeply out of character, prompting authorities to treat it as an unusual and potentially dangerous situation right from the start. On the morning of October 13th, 2018, as Karlie Gusé's family began searching frantically, several neighbors reported sightings that would later become the last credible accounts of Karlie's whereabouts. These observations painted a disjointed yet deeply concerning picture of her final movements. Kenneth Dutton, a neighbor familiar with Karlie, claimed to have seen her walking alone through the neighborhood. He recalled that she appeared out of place, barefoot, thin, and holding a piece of paper. Dutton emphasized that he knew Karlie personally and was confident in his identification. His account helped establish an approximate time and location for her movement that morning. Another resident, Richard Eddy, also reported seeing someone who matched Karlie's description. He described a thin female with long hair, standing by the roadside and staring up at the sky. The detail that she too held a piece of paper caught investigators' attention. Eddy's sighting occurred not far from Dutton's, suggesting a general path Karlie may have followed on foot. A third account came from an individual involved in wood collection, often referred to as a wooder. This witness reported seeing a girl matching Karlie's appearance near Highway 6, a quiet two-lane stretch that runs through the California desert toward Nevada. The proximity to such an isolated road added urgency to the case. The repeated mention of a piece of paper across all three sightings led authorities to believe it might have been the same therapy worksheet Karlie had been writing on the night before during her drug-induced episode. This section places Karlie within a specific geographical corridor and time window after her disappearance. The consistency of the eyewitness report strengthens the timeline, but it also intensifies the mystery. Why was she still walking alone, and what was she hoping to find as she wandered into the open desert? Karlie Gusé's disappearance has left behind a trail of uncertainty, filled with troubling questions and conflicting interpretations. Even years later, investigators and the public continue to grapple with what happened after Karlie was last seen walking near Highway 6. One of the central questions revolves around the marijuana Karlie reportedly consumed the night before she vanished. Was it simply marijuana, or was it laced with another substance that triggered her extreme paranoia and erratic behavior? Toxicology tests were never conducted, as she disappeared before medical professionals could evaluate her condition. This gap leaves open a critical unknown that may have shaped everything that followed. Another possibility is that Karlie stepped outside simply to get some air or find clarity, only to become disoriented in the darkness and desert terrain. Her mental state, as captured in Melissa's recordings, suggested deep confusion, fear, and distress. This has led some to believe she may have wandered further than expected, perhaps succumbing to the environment. Melissa's decision to record Karlie's behavior remains a focal point of debate. Supporters argue it provides crucial insight into Karlie's psychological state, preserving real-time evidence of her paranoia and expressions of fear. Detractors question the ethics of recording a minor in distress without intervention or medical assistance. Yet the recordings stand as the last tangible evidence of Karlie's presence in the home. Notably, there have been no confirmed signs of a struggle, no concrete evidence of foul play, and no confirmed abduction. Law enforcement has not named any suspects or released a theory of their own. The Mono County Sheriff's Office maintains that the case remains open to all possibilities. Despite multiple eyewitness sightings, the Investigation hit a wall due to the complete lack of physical evidence, surveillance footage, or digital footprints. Karlie left her phone behind, removing a critical tool that might have helped track her movement or intentions. In the end, the case remains an open mystery, unresolved, unexplained, and painfully silent. In the years following Karlie Gusé's disappearance, her family has remained committed to keeping her story alive. Despite the case turning cold, they've continued to hope for her safe return, refusing to let her memory fade. Melissa, her stepmother, took to social media platforms, consistently sharing Karlie's photo, missing person details, and updates in hopes of reaching someone who might know something. Her goal has been clear: keep Karlie's face and name in the public eye. Karlie's father, Zach, has also been vocal in interviews and public statements, emphasizing that their search never stopped. For the family, each day without answers only deepens the pain, but their determination has remained unwavering. They've held on to every possibility, no matter how slim, that Karlie is still alive. On May 13th, 2022, what would have been Karlie's 20th birthday, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age progression image. This digitally enhanced photo aimed to show what Karlie might look like as a young adult. These images are critical in long-term missing person cases, helping the public visualize a person's updated appearance and encouraging continued awareness. In 2021, a new tip surfaced. A recovering drug user came forward, claiming to have seen a girl matching Karlie's description at a party. For the family, it brought a flicker of renewed hope. However, investigators were unable to verify the claim, and no credible leads developed from it. Like many tips in cold cases, this one ultimately led nowhere, but it served as a reminder that the possibility of answers still exists. Years later, the emotional toll is undeniable. The absence of closure weighs heavily on the family, but so does the lack of finality. In cases like Karlie's, where physical evidence is scarce and leads are fleeting, public attention and hope become the most powerful tools families have left. Karlie Gusé's disappearance is defined by a sequence of events that remain as haunting as they are unexplained. In the span of a single night, she went from a seemingly normal teenager to someone overwhelmed by fear and paranoia. The audio recording captured by her stepmother documented Karlie's mental unraveling, a raw, unsettling glimpse into her fragile state of mind just hours before she vanished. That morning, eyewitness accounts placed her walking alone through the neighborhood and possibly near Highway 6, clutching what may have been a therapy worksheet. Then, without warning or trace, Karlie disappeared. No confirmed sightings have followed. No physical evidence has surfaced. No digital trail was left behind as her phone remained at home. Despite exhaustive efforts by local authorities, the FBI, and volunteers, the case remains unsolved. There is no proof of abduction, no indication of foul play, and no verified conclusion that she left willingly. Law enforcement continues to investigate with all scenarios on the table. For Karlie's family, each passing year brings more pain, but also a quiet persistence, the hope that someone, somewhere, might hold the missing piece. Until then, the mystery of what happened on that October morning in Chalfont Valley endures, not as a closed chapter, but as an open wound in a case that refuses to fade. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. These unsolved cases deserve to stay in the spotlight until answers are finally found.